Hey guys, I wanted to make a video giving you some tips about taking posts. Oh man, taking photos for social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I'm super OCD about the clarity of my photos, and it's something that I just learned over time. I am not like a professional photographer. However, I do very much enjoy photography and visual communication. Um, so I wanted to give some tips. I wanted to make this video for my team, but also for anybody who posts on social media and is interested in learning about it. So I have just a couple tips. Number one, and this is from my own personal experience, number one is I take most of my photos during the daytime. I try to take all my photos during the daytime if I can, because the lighting is just so much better. You'll notice like I'm facing a window. Well, there's windows behind me, so that doesn't really work. But when you face a window, you have the natural light on your face. It's way better than being like in a dark corner or something like that. So you always want the natural light to be facing you, and you don't want it behind you because it creates a shadow and you look like a silhouette. And so that's tip number one. Tip number two is to really, like, I take a lot of photos so that I'm not always like, oh, I need a photo of this right now. Oh, I need a photo of this right now, and posting about it like right away. I take a lot of photos and I tend to like share them throughout. Like I don't share all my photos right away and I just save them. I have like a photo bank, if you will, that I can use to share my photos. So that's tip number two. Tip number three would be when you are posting a photo, you don't want to be adding all these like words on the picture. You don't want to be adding like borders and color borders especially. You want to keep it very clean, clear, and simple. Bright and bright and clear. Tip number four, people want to see you. They want to see your face. So, you know, you can post other stuff too, but people really love selfies. People love to see your face and to see who they're following. They're following you for a reason. Tip number five has to be my most, it's my favorite thing. Something I really talk about a lot is cleaning your lens before you take a photo. This little guy here is my lens, and like going like this, I'm getting a fingerprint on it, and that creates a more blurry photo. So you want to clean the lens really nice and then take your photo, and you want to make sure to focus in really good. iPhones take really great photos if you do it right. And I do that with the front side as well. And if I take photos of food, I always do it in square. I think food photos in square look a lot better. I always use natural light. If you're not using natural light and you have to take a photo at night, you want to have a bright white light to take the photo. You don't want yellow light because it kind of makes it look like a dungeon. And, you know, I've had experiences where I've lived, like when I first moved to North Carolina, it was in the winter, it was kind of gloomy, and I didn't, like the house that we lived in was kind of dark, and I had a hard time, and I still worked in the service industry, so I had a hard time like finding a good time to take photos. I've also lived in a garage where there was like weapons in a car, and that was for a month and a half over this summer when I moved to Oregon. It wasn't very pretty. It was very dark, and so I had to like take photos outside a lot. So I improvised. If you don't have like a pretty setting, if you don't have a lot of big windows like I do now, you want to go outside and take your photos outside as much as you can because the lighting is so much better and nature is beautiful. So what better backdrop than Mother Nature, right? And, you know, think about like when you're posting on Instagram, your photos are really small, and people are scrolling through, so you want to post stuff that adds value. You want to post stuff that is eye-catching and is relevant, so that you're actually getting people's attention, so that the stuff that you're posting is getting reached, and that it is actually received, and people will be able to read it. So yeah, I think that's all the tips I have today. Just to recap, you want natural lighting, get outside as much as you can, clean your lens, so important. It'll change the game. It'll seriously change the game if you clean your lens before you take your photos. Just makes it so much more clear. Don't put lettering all over your stuff. I mean, if you do it like very simple, like white, pretty, clean lettering. You don't want like ugly, colorful, weird lettering. You don't want to put borders or anything like that. And just make sure that it's clean and clear and adds value, and that it's eye-catching. So I hope this was helpful, and if it is, please feel free to share.